Is it visible?
సార్ స్క్రీన్ రావట్లేదు మీ వీడియో
Is it,
వస్తుంది.
is it visible? Screen.
నో సార్ స్క్రీన్ రావట్లేదు
No.
సార్ స్క్రీన్ షేర్ అవ్వాలా.
ఒక్క నిమిషం. Now.
స్టార్ట్ అవుతాను సార్. వచ్చింది సార్.
Okay. Check YouTube also.
చెక్ చేస్తున్నా సార్ 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, it is there. Yes, Santosh? Hello? 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 Yeah, it's okay now? Hello? Hello? సంతోష్. అది కాదు, నేను అడుగుతుంటే నువ్వెవరు రెస్పాన్స్ లేదు. నేను హలో హలో అంటున్నా, కానీ మీ దగ్గర నుంచి రెస్పాన్స్ లేదు. ఆ? అదే అదే, మీరు నాకు ఆన్సర్ చెప్తుంటారు కానీ నేను ముందుకు వెళ్ళలేను, ఎందుకంటే టెక్నికల్ ఫ్లాస్ ఏమున్నాయి తెలియదు కదా. ఆడియో లేకుండా నేను వేస్ట్ చేయలేను టైం. అది హలో 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 సంతోష్.
హలో సార్, ఇప్పుడు ఆడియో వస్తుందా?
నాకు ఇప్పుడు
హలో,
వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడేం రావట్లేదు.
వాట్సాప్
లేదు లేదు,
వాట్సాప్ లో కూడా రావట్లేదా సార్?
నాకు వాట్సాప్లో వస్తుందమ్మా. నేను
ఓకే
దీంట్లో
ఓకే.
కంప్యూటర్ మీద ఉన్నాను కదా,
అదే సార్,
ల్యాప్టాప్
అయితే
మీద.
మాకు
నాకు రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. రెస్పాన్స్ ఇవ్వకపోతే స్క్రీన్ షేర్ అవుతుందా లేదా ఇవన్నీ తెలియకపోతే నేను ముందుకెళ్ళలేను. ఆడియో లేకపోతే
సార్,
నేను ఎలా వెళ్తాను? అదే
ఓకే
అందుకోసం
సార్,
అదే
సార్
కోఆర్డినేషన్.
అదే అర్థమైంది సార్. ఒకసారి
అదే
నేను
కోఆర్డినేషన్
మెసేజ్
అంటే మరి.
లేదు సార్, ఒకసారి
యా.
నేను మెసేజ్ పెట్టి నేను ఇక్కడ అన్మ్యూట్ చేసి మాట్లాడుతున్నా. అంటే సిగ్నల్ ఇష్యూ వల్ల అనుకుంటా మీకు రిప్లై అంటే రాలేదు. నేను మళ్ళీ వాట్సాప్ నుంచి కూడా అందుకనే మీకు కాంటాక్ట్ అయ్యాను సార్.
కాదు, ఇప్పుడు నాకు వాయిస్ అందరికి వినిపిస్తుందా? నేను మాట్లాడింది కనుక్కుని చెప్పు.
లేదు సార్, అక్కడ మీకు నార్మల్ వీడియో ఒకటి వస్తుంది, ఆడియో రావట్లేదు.
మరి ఆడియో రావట్లేకపోతే అలాగా మీదే ప్రాబ్లం. మరి ఇక్కడ వీడియో ఒకటే వస్తే ఎట్లా?
సార్, ఇప్పుడు ఆడియో వస్తుంది.
ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది, నాకు వస్తుంది.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు వచ్చింది సార్. ఓకే సార్.
ఇప్పుడు
అంటే
స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుందా?
రూమ్ నుంచి బయటకు వస్తే కానీ మాకు రాలేదు. కనిపిస్తుంది కనిపిస్తుంది.
స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుంది, ఆడియో కూడా వస్తుంది కదా.
వస్తుంది సార్, వస్తుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే, మిగతా వాళ్ళందరినీ అడిగి చెప్పు. క్లియర్గా ఉంటే విల్
ఓకే
స్టార్ట్.
స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం సార్. అంటే రూమ్
ఓకే
నుంచి బయటకు వస్తే ఇప్పుడు సిగ్నల్ వస్తుంది.
okay okay that you
ఓకే
please look at it. Okay, thank you very much. I thank Upendra sir for having given me another opportunity, and the student coordinator Santosh for doing a very excellent job to be here to coordinate the things. Now see, we have already talked about the cognitive and affective tools for self management. Again, it's a revision thing because somewhere we have stopped in between. So this is enhancing personal and professional effectiveness. So the importance of this, I have already told you. This before you manage others, you're supposed to manage ourselves. So you should have a self-reflection and must be clear both in terms of your skill set and also your orientation towards understanding others as such, like emotional intelligence and all. So self-management, as I've already talked to you earlier, is it is referring to the process by which individuals regulate their emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in pursuit of personal and professional goals as such. So it is something like understanding your own emotions, understanding the thought process. Understanding thought process is about logic. That's what where we talk about cognitive skill as such. Emotions is all about affective component. So both together is your behavior. So we need to understand both your personal and professional goals as such. So that's the reason why we talk about self management, and the self management skills are said to be very crucial for effective leadership, improved productivity, and overall well-being of an individual. So if you want to manage yourself and manage the group of people in terms of your effective leadership, you're supposed to be good enough in improving your skill set on your self management. So it empowers all the individuals to take charge of their actions and responses, leading to better decision making and enhanced interpersonal relationships. It's not that you want to make the best decisions as such cognitively, but it's also important for you to be good enough in enhancing interpersonal relationships. That's your affective component, affective skill component, meaning emotional orientation, understanding your emotions and others' emotions as well. So let's examine what are the key components of this self management. We have already talked about it. It's called cognitive skills as such. Cognitive skills, where we note here, one is goal setting. Establish very clear, actionable objectives. We have talked about earlier also SMART goals, SMART, SMART goals. So where we talk in terms of achievable goals and what you call time-bound goals, realistic goals, all these things very important. So you must be very clear on what are your goals that are to be set clearly. Then about time management, because what will happen is for all of us is this 24 hours per day. So when you're when you have some tough times like handling different tasks, it's up to you to prioritize tasks, meaning you have to think in terms of what is necessary, what is unnecessary, what is urgent, what is not urgent, and based on that you prioritize tasks and effectively manage your time as such, so that you can maximize your productivity. Then about decision making, we have already talked about. It's I mean, defining the problem and analyzing the problem and suggesting certain alternative solutions. Before that, you analyze different options, alternative options, for making informed choices, because everything is a data driven decision making, information based decisions as such. So that's how we have to go ahead. Then affective skills we have just now told is your emotional regulation, managing and responding to emotional experiences very, very appropriately. That's where understanding yourself and understanding others in terms of their and your emotional orientation and others' emotional orientation as such. Next one is stress management, because we are already stressed because of the resources constraint, maybe, or we are working on deadlines in order to achieve goals and all. So you need to manage yourself and by identifying certain techniques to cope with the stressors very effectively. And very important is your self motivation. Never lose confidence on yourself. Cultivating intrinsic motivation to pursue goals, because there may be extrinsic motivators and intrinsic motivators are internal. It's your own thing. You should get motivated to achieve a goal, and of course there may be certain other external guidelines will be there, external guides, external support systems may be there for you, but it's up to you to cultivate intrinsic motivation to pursue goals. That's your self motivation. Let's now look at cognitive tools for self management. We have already talked about earlier, but again, it's a sort of a revision here. So, goal setting techniques. What is this goal setting techniques? As just now talking about SMART goals, SMART. It's an acronym where we note now S is specific, M is measurable, A is achievable or is relevant, and T is time bound. What are these? Specific goals means clearly define what you want to achieve. See, don't go for a confusing state of things, like very clear in your mind that what is to achieve clearly. Specify it, define it in clearer terms. And note that you need to examine to what extent you have achieved the goal. So it should be measurable. Identify how you will measure the progress. For example, if you want to learn a skill, now examine yourself where to stop and examine whether you have learned a skill or not. Identify how will you measure the progress. So instead of, if you take non-measurable goals, it will be difficult for you whether you achieved or not. The question cannot be asked again. So what are the other aspects of achievable goals? Achievable goal is ensure the goal is realistic. If you can't make a realistic goal, and it cannot be achievable. See, you can't think in vacuum without any resources and all that. So It must be some achievable goals. Accordingly, you have to build up your resources and achieve for that goal. And it should be relevant to the broader objectives you have. You are a person, you are playing a role in an organizational setting. You should also understand what are the relevant goals that you are pursuing as such. So the goals that you fix it should align with broader life objectives of yours and objectives of the organization where you're working. Then of course is a time bomb. Set a deadline for completion of the goal. You can't go on. No, it's not a bubblegum goals as such. You should have to set a time bound boundary or whatever timeline or deadline, and see that the goal is achieved according to the time as such. Now, let's examine few things that are important for us to identify these goals and, achievement process of these goals. So this one good technique for all of us is visualization technique. You know what is meant by visualization technique? It's a mental frame, mental imagery to envision achieving your goals, enhancing motivation and focus. Sit calm and quiet here. Visualize that you have achieved this goal. Mind it, you have to do this very, very sincerely and honestly here. Use this mental imagery that you have. Say, for example, you're participating in a public speaking competition. See that you're doing an excellent job. Visualize it. Visualize that your presentation is quite nice and it is completely good enough that the audience are completely engaged and all these things in your mental imagery. So that's what we call visualization technique. When you're when approaching an exam, sit for a while and think that you can score very well in the examination and you can do a better thing there and all that. So that's how you have to enhance your motivation and focus on the goal. Then comes your time management. This is again what we have already told you, that everybody will have time constraints. Absolutely. Everybody will have time constraints. You, me, everybody for that matter. When you are working on a busy schedules as such, time becomes a constraint. The goals must be time bound. You can't go on saying that no, this I need more time and all. No, it's not possible. So time is the time for that matter. So you need to use some time management tools here. For example, you will be having your own tools like calendars, planners. There will be reminders also. You utilize all digital or paper planners to organize tasks and deadlines. See, here you will be receiving an what do you call an alert in your mobile phone that you will be having a meeting after half an hour, around 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So that's how you can suppose, if you forget your assignments, that this kind of digital tools now present here, because you are very fortunate to have this kind of digital tools that you have paper planners to organize tasks and deadlines. Time tracking apps are also there here, and all these things may mean a lot. Monitor how time is spent on various activities, allowing for better allocation of time to important tasks. So please do not hang on unimportant tasks and waste your time. Please try to identify what is important, what is not important, what is urgent, what is not urgent. We shall see a little later when we take up for detailed discussion the practical application of these tools. You can understand how the tools can function well. So monitor how time is spent on various activities, allowing for better allocation of time to important tasks. Very, very important here. Then, of course, is your effective tools for self-management. I would told this is first one is cognitive. Cognitive is logic and all that. Now, affective tools is about your psychology of understanding your own emotions and others' emotions in maintaining a very good relationships as such. So, how good are you in self-management, emotional regulation strategies as such? One is mindfulness practices, meaning engage in mindfulness meditation or breathing exercises to enhance awareness of thoughts and feelings. For example, you feel stressed, you feel emotional. So, what happens here? The psychologist suggests you that you just sit down calm and quiet here, meditate with breathing exercise, and you should be conscious of your breathing. breathe in, breathe out should be systematically be done here. And that kind of a mindfulness practices will leave you in a very peace and tranquility scenario, so that you can walk into the meeting, you can walk into an what you call conversations, or whatever you call it. So that's interesting. And journaling and reflection, meaning that write about daily experiences you have and emotions you have exhibited to gain insights into patterns and triggers. What happens here? Suppose, for example, yesterday on a meeting, there was an uproar, and you are involved in a very dirty conversations and argumentative postures and all that. So after coming home, you take journaling this entire case in your own words. Write about your daily experiences and emotions. Then you can understand by reading through, is this right way to express my emotion? Is this the right way to behave like this, to behave like that? All these questions can be answered here. So there's another strategy is journaling and reflection. Write about daily experiences and emotions to gain insights into patterns and triggers. Then, of course, is stress management technique, because we have already talked about it. Stress is a psychosomatic disorder, meaning it will be psychological first, and then it is physiological next. It start with your disturbances in attention plan and all that, and then after that, you would be suffering a lot in terms of your physiological symptoms as such. It starts from psychological anxiety, neurosis, and all, and then it goes to physiological symptoms like loss of appetite. I mean, heart diseases, for example, sleeplessness. It is called insomnia. A lot of things like. So you need to manage stress levels. You have to identify the stressors and to manage. And one such stress management technique would be, one is breathing exercise. Breathing exercise is what we call pranayama in Sanskrit. And normally we practice here pranayama, and it's a systematic breathing exercise as such. Practice deep breathing techniques to reduce anxiety and promote relaxation. Mind it, it works. It works magically. Then, of course, is your physical activity. Incorporate regular exercise into your daily routine. I don't know how many of you are involved in this physical activity, like your just jogging, running, and morning exercises. So this is a natural stress reliever, mind it. Waking up very early and go for a walk, brisk walk. That helps you to ignite yourself well in the morning itself, and then it goes just good enough, and you can manage your stress levels appropriately well. Let's now examine some practical applications of cognitive tools. Let us examine now how these cognitive tools can be applied. First one is goal setting in action. So, how you set goals, for example, tell me. Setting goals is a very systematic, scientific approach, minded. So, first of all, what you do is break down the large goals into smaller. For example, you want to make a bigger profit for your organization as such. So, write down specify the time periods for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. Examine. For first quarter, what is the target? For second quarter, what is the target? So, like that, you can define manageable tasks. For example, if your goal is to complete a project, list out each step needed to achieve it. Step one, step two, step three, step four, like that. Instead of just working out for the last step as such, it becomes difficult for you to measure it and monitor it and review it also. So that's the first thing. Break down the large goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Then your review process must be very, very regular. If you follow a haphazard approach of review, then goal achievement becomes a tough thing for you, mind it. So regularly review the progress towards your goals. It can be a weekly or can be daily, I don't know, daily, weekly, or monthly reviews you can plan for and adjust strategies. All the strategies you're already worked out, may be working out or may not be worked out little later. So you identify which strategy is working and which strategy is not working, and this is possible only you if you adopt a regular review of the process as such, right? Review, goal review process, what we call achievement process. So that's based on the necessity. You can work, you can work on, you can improve upon that. So that's again review process as such. Next, about your time management best practices. How you'll be managing time, tell me, because you will be fast approaching with examinations and all that, that sometimes you find it a very clumsy thing. There are a lot of papers to cover and subjects to cover. Examination timetable has been now likely to be announced and all that. Look at from the perspective of a student who is a serious and sincere student for making up preparation for the examinations. Note now what happens here. Which one to take up first, which one to take up next? Which one is said to be urgent, which one is not said to be urgent? There are some time management tools here. One such time management tool is Eisenhower matrix. Eisenhower matrix to prioritize tasks based on urgency and importance. This helps you to focus on what truly matters. Because a lot of things to achieve, but you can take time to achieve one, two, three, four, five. First, let us examine what is first, what is second. Prioritization is very, very important. Let us examine this tool here. Could you see this one on the screen, please? See, the Eisenhower matrix have four quadrants. On the x-axis, we take urgent and not urgent. And on the y-axis, we take not important and important. So let's examine. You have to slice down all the tasks into four categories. First category is, first set of category like urgent, not urgent. Then you take important, not important. So suppose you take a category where this is very, very important and very, very urgent also. Take that assignment first. That's called do it first, right? And it is very urgent but not important. It is urgent but not important. When it is urgent, not important, you need not have to waste your time. You delegate it to somebody. Some subordinate officials will be there, they will be taking the task. Why do you worry about it? So coming on to the other side, like it's not urgent, but it is very important. It's not urgent. No, don't worry about it. Immediately you need not attend, but you have to attend it because it's important. So what it means here, you have to schedule it. Fix a time. In the evening, 4 o'clock, I will have to attend it. Or tomorrow at 10 o'clock, as soon as I come to office, you have to attend it. Because it's not urgent now to attend. So you schedule it first. Okay, next, it is not urgent, not important. Delete from your list. Don't worry too much because it's not urgent, not important also. This is a very routine task. So when it's a routine task, you can attend it at any given point of time, attending to a lot of important assignments you have. So that's another interesting aspect. Next, of course, implement time blocking by allocating specific blocks of time. See, you need to block some certain things like those are said to be very important, must be taken first priority. You have to take the first priority. Implement time blocking by allocating specific blocks. By allocating specific blocks of time for different tasks or activities throughout your day. And this is how you can take advantage of time management. Very, very important aspect for all of us. Now, let's go in for some practical applications of effective tools. This is about emotional regulation, how you manage your emotions and how you manage others' emotions as well. You must be empathetic because try to look at the problems from the other's perspective so that you can understand others' emotions over a particular issue. So you need to look at this. How do you implement emotional regulation? So develop self-awareness through feedback from peers and mentors. Very, very important. You have to take the feedback. How about your functioning with them? Ask them honest feedback from your equal status individuals like peers or some subordinates, or if you have some mentors in your organization, or say, for example, in your college, your teachers or your mentors, you can ask them about what sort of behaviors I do no exhibit and all that. What how can I check myself and all in the process of emotional regulations. Understanding how others perceive you can help identify areas for improvement, because you yourself may not know, may not understand clearly what type of behaviors that you emit when you're behaving with others as such. So understanding how others perceive you through the feedback can help you identify areas for improvement. That's very important aspect. And then of course is you need to practice empathy. Just now I was telling, walking into the shoes of others, actively listen what they're saying, and look at the problem from the other's perspective, not from yours perspective. If you start looking at from your perspective, you have a lot of filters in between you and others. You fail to actively listen, and you may misunderstand the entire scenario. That's not right. And that's why you say practice empathy by actively listening to others' perspectives, which can enhance relationships and reduce the conflicts as much as possible. And then let us look at how, in a daily life, how you are going to manage your stressors. Because what we mean here is self-management. It is human behavior. Human beings are mostly logical as well as emotional as such. Is they're partly logical and partly emotional as such. Of course, you need to understand your cognitive abilities and all, with the ability to think better, ability to think very analytically, and ability to think creatively, out of box thinking. Everything is important. At the same time, when it comes to emotions, like emotional regulation, I was talking to earlier, that for example, if you say that I am not okay today, I cannot attend to office today, I cannot, I can attend to office, but I don't want to talk to anybody. And you may say that, no, no, don't talk to me for another half an hour or 1 hour, leave me alone. So this type of mood swings and emotional orientations may completely disturb the organizational settings as such. So you are supposed to manage your emotions as such. So you should be a perfect individual by yourself. So let's examine what will happen. One thing that experts point of view, experts point towards your efficiency is stress management in daily life. Incorporate regular physical activity. I was talking to you earlier also. You should be good enough in minimum physical activity. Go for a walk, brisk walk or whatever, morning walk or evening walk. As your youngsters play games, physical games, don't stick to digital tools like your mobiles and play all the games virtually. No, I'm sorry, you're not supposed to be doing like that. Incorporate regular physical activity into a daily routine, for example, such as walking, and sometimes you can participate in yoga and team sports like cricket or volleyball or football or coco, whatever you feel like, team sports and games, so that when you work out on team sports and games, there's a lot of coordination and all that. All these things are built in there. So please aim at this kind of physical activity at least 30 minutes a day, a moderate exercise most of the days of the week. So this is very interesting aspect. So don't ignore today. There's a lot of debate going on the productiveness of people at work here, and because they are just sticking onto their own chairs and systems and virtual formats and all that, mobiles and laptops or whatever it is. That's very problematic. So you need to answer this particular problem with the help of your physical activity. Stretch out. Stretching is very important. Go out. Physical participation in games or yoga or jogging or walking should definitely help you. Try to understand that. Then utilize relaxation techniques like progressive muscle relaxation during the high pressure situations to maintain composure. So just walk out from that high tense scenarios. Sit quiet, calm, composed on meditation, at least for 10 minutes. Do this as very serious and sincere exercise that can help you to relax your muscles, because all high pressure situations and high pressure areas are quite common today, because we have been working on deadlines and all that, and it's, I think, everybody feels a lot of pressure. So how to maintain cool and your cool and composure, that's very important. If you do not have this cool, calm, composed atmosphere, then you're terribly disturbed in taking decisions as such, and there is a chance of you engulfed in wrong decision making, and emotive, what you call split second decisions as such. And if the decisions are not taken rationally, then it costs you very much. So please take care of your physical and mental health as such. Next, talking about some digital tools for self management. Your For this next generation people now, with a digital tool on hands, digital tools on hand. So let's look at some of the interesting tools and names. And of course, if you Google it, you can have n plus one number of digital tools for self management. One such tool, we can have this on Monitask, the time tracking and productivity task management focus features are there. You can see Monitask. It can help you in order to track time and productively manage your tasks and all that. Then you have Asana project management, goal setting, workflow tracking, everything. There are a number. And then Notion Note is another thing. Taking and organization, note taking and organization of things very clearly and systematically, and customizable databases are also there. So discuss on how these tools can streamline your self-management practices. Interesting. This multitask I was telling you helps track time spent on projects, providing insights into productivity patterns. Are you wasting time here? Or you're not spending too much time there and all that? It can help you to answer those questions. And Asana, for example, allows for collaborative project management with features that facilitate goal tracking. You can with this, you can even measure to what extent you have achieved the goal, and what is the gaps that are left out, and how you are going to link yourself, network with your team, to communicate with the team members, and achieve the goal process as such. Notion, yeah, I've already told you, Notion is a flexible platform for organizing notes like diaries or whatever, tasks, and databases tailored to individuals' needs. You first of all, you need to feed the system at that particular app about your needs. Based on the needs, it can help you help to give you all the things. Like you can use this as a flexible platform for organizing notes, tasks, and other databases together. And they are tailored to individual needs, mind it. So if you look at integrating cognitive and affective tools, as I've already told you, you must be perfectly rational and also emotionally regulated individual. You must have to take rational decisions, and at the same time your emotional arousals must be regulated, because we have already said and repeatedly been saying that human being is partly rational and partly emotional. So that's how we take. So this is a holistic approach, meaning emphasizing the importance of combining cognitive tools. Cognitive tool is about goal setting, how you have to supposed to work, how you are supposed to manage your time and all that. No, that's very, very interesting. Then about affective tools, because you will be stressed again and you are under the pressure when you're working under high pressure areas, your emotion regulation will go out of gear. So these effective tools like emotional regulation are useful for comprehensive self-management. Let's examine, say, for example, use any planner. I'm talking to earlier, just I'm talking to you on this kind of digital tools. Use a planner, cognitive tool, not just for scheduling the work tasks, but also for allocating time slots. Not only work tasks, you can divide the work into different tasks, but at the same time, allocate time slots also. Practically, time slots can be allocated so that you can be totally dedicated to mindfulness practices. You're sure, yes, this time and this much time is required for me to do this task and all that. By the time the time gets completed, you must be in a position to complete that work task as such. So that kind of help you can take from the tools. An effective tool, I have already told you. See, whatever you do ultimately is with a lot of stress and strain, no doubt about it. And this kind of effective tools can help you to integrate and support your productivity, at the same time emotional well-being. You're not supposed to be stressed too much in the name of completing your productive work. That is too much, because for today you're emotionally stressed, for tomorrow you become defunct. So that's very important thing. You must also have a complete emotional well-being of yourself. If it's not that, gone again. So this it's a cognitive plus affective work tools must be properly be used here, and a lot of literature is there. And thanks to online digital tools that are available for you to fine tune your task management. And if you see that, of course, is it that easy to go in for self management, assessment, self assessment, and self reflection? Of course, there are certain common obstacles. What are the common obstacles here? Let's see. One is procrastination. That means when you're managing a bigger task and you suffer from a fear of failure. You may think futuristic. Oh, I'm sorry, if something goes wrong, what may happen? So should I take up the assignment now or postpone it to tomorrow, day after, next month? So this kind of a thing, when you're worried about perfectionism, definitely you will be experiencing fear of failure. Don't expect perfectionism. Take the things as they are. So if you think that I am the perfect thing, I mean person, I have to do it as perfectly as possible, that will result in procrastination, absolute postponement of things. Procrastination is what? Continuous postponement of things. The task is postponed. You don't take, for example, you feel stressed on a particular subject, you don't read that one. Postpone reading it. Okay, let's see till the last minute. So there's one important obstacle for self-assessment, self-management, and self-monitoring. Lack of motivation, and that you need to self-motivate, right? See, intrinsic motivation. See, when your goals are not clear and you manage overwhelming tasks. Overwhelming tasks are those which are not measurable at all and which are said to be very vague and unclear. So when you have this kind of goal setting process, yes, you lose motivation. And this lack of motivation will definitely disturb your thing. And that's again another important common obstacle of self monitoring and self management. Yes. Then, of course, is your emotional burnout. For example, if you're stressed too much, excessive stress, without any adequate coping strategies. When you're experiencing stress, you know that you're experiencing stress. It is your responsibility to stretch out for strategies to cope up these stress levels. That means take out time, take rest, close your eyes, go in for breathing, right? Systematic breathing, breathing in and breathing out, mindfulness practices. So, because all this emotional burnout can be answered, if you don't take care of these things, yes, of course, you are, and you experience stress burnout. That's a problematic thing. So, emotional burnout from excessive stress without adequate coping strategies is another important common problem in case of self management. Now, let's say examine the discussion that comes out of this is very interesting. So, having noticed some of the obstacles that you are facing, let us examine how to overcome these challenges of this self management. And I've already told you there are for cognitive tools, and you have affective tools in managing, which can help you to manage yourself. So let's examine some of the important strategies to overcome obstacles. Set smaller achievable goals that build momentum. I have already been telling you at the beginning, since beginning of this session. Set a smaller achievable goals. These are called smart goals. It must be relevant, achievable, time bound. For example, instead of aiming to write an entire report in one go, set a goal to write one section each day. For example, you want to read a book. Don't think that you can read a book in one go. Please see that at least this day or for this half day, I can read 30 pages. Please make out the goals into achievable goals. Set smaller. Say, for example, the book is 250 pages. You want to read it. So don't go in one go. It's not possible as such. At a given point of time, you feel frustrated, stressed, and all that, and you throw the book out, and that's postponed, procrastination. So don't do that. So, like that, instead of aiming to write an entire report in one go, set a goal to write one section each day. Instead of reading a book, the entire book in one go, set a goal to read at least 30 pages today and another 30 pages tomorrow. Make sure that the 30 becomes a fixed number of pages for you as a goal, defined goal. Create a supportive environment that encourages accountability. See, please be with all positive minded people. You need to create a supportive environment that encourages accountability. You are responsible for yourself, mind it. Please be as honest as possible in creating supportive environment. So this could involve finding an accountability partner, your team members and all that, who can work with you. So they are both are tuned to be accountable for what you have been doing, or joining a group of focused similar goals they have. So in short, when you would like to conclude this session, I just would conclude within a couple of minutes. See, the significance of effective self management is a very important necessity. There is no other alternative. How significant are you in the process of designing your own strategies using cognitive tools and affective tools in managing yourself is a very, very important thing. So by managing yourself effectively, can achieve personal and professional goals minded. So now highlight how cognitive tools, what are those cognitive tools which can influence you to make decisions rationally, analytically, logically, and creatively also. So those tools which are available are goal setting procedures and time management tools. And of course, we are team of people working together. These are called human beings at work. So what may happen is when human to human interactions take place, there is a chance of emotional arousals, mood swings, emotional arousals, and all that. And you feel stressed because we are not mechanistic, right? We are not machines. We are human beings. You feel stressed. You experience some minimum, say things like headache, or some sort of a thing, a lack of concentration at a given point of time, confused state of affairs over a given period of time when you're terribly stressed. So you have to use effective tools as such, like for emotional intelligence tools, earlier also we were talking, and stress management tools to examine your stress levels, journaling that can help you to understand where you're stressed and where you're not and all that, and you can as well identify your problem clearly and create a balanced approach in the process of achieving organization objectives. So what is then is call to action? The final thought here. The problem we have already identified. My dear friends, you need to identify at least one cognitive tool you need to have, and also one effective tool you need to implement in your daily routines, and moving forward with the learnings that you can get from the tools that you use, and the scores that you can decipher from that of the use of tools. So in short, I can tell you that it's a very very important aspect here to go for self management, both your cognitive level and also to your affective level, wherein emotional regulation also is said to be very important. Because if you cannot be a full function human being, you get lost in the process, then organizations derail, because we always look at the human side of enterprise. There are a number of resources for an organization, like your human resources, physical resources, financial resources, technical resources, etc., etc. But of all, human resources are said to be important because we look at the organization human centric. So human being should be a full function human being, good with physical and emotional health. So this is in short what you consider important to talk on self management as such. Okay, with this we close, and then anything else if you have, I am pleased to answer. The floor is on.